Derry are through to an All-Ireland football semi-final for the first time since 2004 after a hugely comprehensive victory over Clare here at Croke Park. Finished up 5-13 to 2-8, and really any time Clare put up a bit of resistance in this game with the goals they scored through Pierce Lillis and also in the second half from Owen Cleary, straight away Derry had the answer. A lot of different players stood up today. Conor Glass was excellent. Brendan Rodgers continued his very good season. Gareth McKinless once more dominating from centre back. But Shane McGuigan, he scored 1-7 from play, also added a free, but he was sensational throughout. Set up a goal for Paul Cassidy, was involved in so many scoring opportunities over the course of the game. He really was truly excellent in this game. And from early on in the game, you kind of knew that this thing was going to be in the books pretty quickly. Benny Hearn scored a great goal. One of the Clare kickouts had been turned over, and this was a feature with some of the scores that Derry were getting throughout. They were able to press that Clare kickout, weren't allowing them to get out easy and got scores off it. Hearn with a beautiful little feint past Killian Ruine for that first goal and blasted into the net. Conor Glass, it seemed like he really wanted to make an impact in Croke Park here, and the way he drove forward for that second goal, which came after 13 minutes, did a nice little 1-2 with Ethan Doherty, and just very, very comprehensive finish into the roof of the net. And a lot of the goals from Derry were like that, really, really comprehensive. Interesting from their point of view that they actually conceded a couple of goals here. Maybe part of it was that the game felt a little bit like it was in the books. Maybe they slackened off a small bit mentally. Maybe even just getting back up after the Ulster final. They got those early goals on the board and maybe they sort of relaxed a little bit. But up to this point, they've only conceded one goal in Championship football in 3 seasons where Rory Gallagher has been in charge. And in this game conceded 2. Now, the stat is a little bit misleading in the sense that the first 2 seasons they only played 1 game each. But the one goal that they did concede this year to Donegal just came off a little bit of an individual error. So the point being that they are very, very difficult to break down. They had 3 players scoring 1-1 each in this game. So Conor Glass scored 1-1, Paul Cassidy, the wing forward, and Benny Hearn, they all scored 1-1 each. And it's just the class of Shane McGuigan up front, and he's going to be very closely in the All-Star conversation this year. Owen Cleary at the other end for Clare, he scored 1-3 from play and added a couple of frees as well. He was quite good. A couple of very few other players really made a huge impact here. David Tubridy, the highest league scorer in the history of the GAA in football, he came on and knocked over a couple of frees. This could be his swan song and maybe 1 or 2 others. But Clare, they really probably needed to get another couple of goals here. Podge Collins had a chance in the first half. He broke onto a hand pass over the top that came from Jamie Malone, knocked it in front of him and just kind of kicked the ball soccer style on the ground, and it was a nice save from Oran Lynch. And yes, they had 1 or 2 other half chances. Owen Cleary had one that was blocked really well by Shea Downey at the start of the second half. But Derry they probably could have scored even more. They had 8 to 9 goal chances. I mean, I say 8 to 9, there's a half goal chance in there somewhere. So not everyone would count it, but they could have put even more on the board here. So a final score of 5-13 to 2-8. Really, really comprehensive from Derry. And they go into an All-Ireland semi-final now against the winners of the Armagh Galway game, feeling like maybe their season isn't done yet. There might be a little bit more in them, but the change in this team under Rory Gallagher in the past couple of years, Christy McCaig said in an interview a couple of weeks ago how tactically clueless I suppose that they were a few years ago. There certainly are not that now. Clare really struggled to break them down at any stage, really. I think they got a couple of goals, but they were struggling to break them down when the game was a game early on. And just every time Clare got a score or got a goal, they just had an instant reply. So Derry absolutely thoroughly deserving victors here in the first of the All-Ireland Senior Football